Hi everybody. Today I'm going to be teaching about circles to help you guys with the circle quiz. Most of this is a reminder of what we talked about in class. So we're going to go ahead and go through some problems here. So these are similar problems to the ones that will be on your quiz. I put up one already that's on chords and naming things. This will be on circumference and area. So the question says the diameter of a circle measures 12 yards. You guys can see the picture. It has 12 and it shows that that's the diameter. It says what is the circumference of the circle? Now the difference between this and what we did in class is they ask us to use 3.14 for pi rather than the pi button. They also say do not round your answer, so we're going to use the entire thing. So remembering that circumference equals pi times the diameter, we're going to take our diameter, which is the 12 yards, and we're going to do 3.14 times 12. So if we take our calculator out and we do 3.14 and we times it by 12, the answer here comes out to be 37.68 yards. And so that would be our answer. So now I'm going to switch to another problem. This one is on finding the radius or the diameter of a circle given its circumference. It says the circumference of a circular painting is 47.1 feet. What is the radius of the painting? Again, we're going to use 3.14 and we're not going to round. So again, our formula is circumference equals pi times the diameter. We want to find the radius here. So we're going to take the 47.1. It says that's the circumference. So we put it where the circumference is, 47.1. That equals 3.14 times the diameter. For us to find the diameter, we need to get rid of the 3.14. These are being multiplied. So to get rid of it, we're going to divide by the 3.14. So I divide this side by 3.14. Those will go away, leaving us just with the diameter on the right side. And on the left side, we're also going to divide by 3.14. If I take 47.1 and I divide it by 3.14, we get exactly 15. So my diameter is 15. Now remember that the diameter is the line that goes all the way across. That right there is 15, and this is in feet. The problem is we want the radius. The radius is just from the center to the side, which is half the diameter. And so we need to take the diameter of 15 and we need to divide it by 2. And so the radius equals 7.5, and this is in feet. And so you can go ahead and put that in. Let's go ahead and switch to a third question. Okay, this one is on the area of a circle. It says, find the area of a circle with radius 6 inches. So we have a picture with a radius of 6 inches. It says, use 3.14 for pi and do not round our answer. Be sure to include the correct unit in the answer. So we need to put inches, and it's not just inches because this is area. And so I will try to attempt to teach this as well. So if we remember our area formula from our second worksheet, it's area equals pi times the radius squared. And remember in class we said that's the same thing as saying pi times the radius times the radius. That's not r times 2, it's r times r. So because of that, we're going to plug in our 6. So we're going to say the area equals 3.14 times 6 squared, or if you'd rather, 3.14 times 6 times 6. Now, this, before we do the numbers, this 6 is technically this, 3.14 times 6 inches times 6 inches. Now we're going to multiply the 3.14, the 6, and the 6 together. But I don't want you to forget that we're actually multiplying the inches and the inches together, and that creates inches squared. And so our units at the end, we're going to put inches squared, because inches squared means inches times inches. And so now let's go to our calculator. We're going to put in 3.14. We're going to times it by 6 squared, or by 6, and then by 6 again. And it comes out to be 113.04. So my area equals 113.04 inches squared. And that will be my final answer. And finally, we're going to go to one last problem. And then this should be all the kinds of problems that you should have on your quiz. So this one is called distinguishing between the area and the circumference. So area, when we look at a circle, the area talks about how much goes inside of that, how much space is inside of this circle. That's area. Circumference doesn't talk about how much area is inside. It talks about how much it is to go around. So if I started here at this dot, I went all the way around, and I went right back to that dot. So what's the distance if I walked right on that circle around? So if we come to this, it gives us one picture. It has a diameter of 96 centimeters. So part A says use the calculator to find the circumference and the area of the mirror. So we're going to do both calculations. It says use 3.144 pi and do not round your answers. That part is similar to what we just did on the last two. So I'm going to quickly do that, but I'm not going to really explain too much of it. So circumference equals pi times the diameter. So the circumference is going to be 3.14 times the 96 centimeters. And so when I quickly calculate that, we get 301.44, and that's just centimeters because there's only one in the problem. The area equals pi times the radius squared. That's going to be 3.14 times, now the 96 was the diameter. I need half of that, so I do 96 divided by 2 and I get 48. So this is times 48 squared, or times 48 again. So if I do that in my calculator and I do 3.14 times 48 and I square that, or I times it by 48 again, I get 7,234.56, and that will be in centimeters squared. So that's going to be my circumference and my area, and I type those into part A. Part B and C have us actually distinguish between the two. So what does the area do? What does the circumference do? That's what we talked about here at the top, where I talked about the area is what's inside, the circumference is how far around. And so on part B, it says the silver wire will be placed around the mirror. We're going around the mirror, so that's going to be talking about the circumference, how much it's going to be around. It's just the distance. It's just measured, just like you measure your height, you're going to measure around the circle. And so we would go ahead and we would fill in the circumference if we were going to be doing that. Just fill that dot in right there. And then the mirror's glass will be replaced. Which measure will be used to find the amount of glass needed? That would tell you all the glass inside and how big it needs to be. And so that would be the area. And so we would then use area for that one. And so hopefully this will be enough of an explanation for you guys to be able to then do very well on your quiz. Good luck and try your best, and we'll see you next time.